I'm Davey.
I'm Misty.
DM Watts.
Unscripted.
Unedited.
Unapologetic.
Let's get it. What's going on, everybody? I am Davey.
I'm Misty.
And we are DM Watts. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are we DM Lots?
I thought I'm going to say DM Yachts.
I mean, we are a lot.
Yeah. DM Yachts.
Ooh, I like that.
We are DM Yachts.
We're DM Yachts. Excuse us while we go to the Caribbean.
Not yet. We ain't. Not yet. We'll let you know
One
when
day.
DM Yachts. Yeah. But anyway, you guys, welcome back to DM Watts podcast.
It's been a long weekend.
Yeah, well, it's been a long weekend. That's for sure. You guys, welcome back to DM Watts podcast. You guys know where you can find us in DM Watts podcast.com. You guys make sure you head on over there. We got a lot of bunch of goodies.
We have a lot of
forgot to bring our stuff down, but our merch did we get? But okay.
We have our masks.
We have our masks.
We have DM Watts masks.
Yep.
And now that masks are mandatory again for vaccinated and unvaccinated.
Yeah, so we thought we'd share with you guys.
Look at the week before last week's episode where I go on a rant about everybody wearing a mask. We bought our own. And now you can buy them too.
When we talk about that piece of cloth, it's just, really difficult. We understand. But, well, if you get out of your own head and get out of your way, we got some merch for you guys to get. And actually, it's pretty comfortable.
No, it's very comfortable.
It's actually very
adjustable.
Comfortable.
I didn't know masks were adjustable.
We thought
now.
When we got it, we was like, it's going to be this cheap stuff.
We did. And it was awesome.
And then we got it. I'm like, wow, this is
And you know what?
cool.
We forgot our mugs too.
Snap.
Because we have mugs. We're so unprepared for you people. And you know what? You faithful listeners, we got some cool stuff.
And for those watching us on the theater down there, don't be judging. That's what happens. Just don't be judging.
I mean, yeah. Anyways, it's been a long weekend.
Yeah, it's been a long weekend. But hey, like we said, we hadn't even finished our intro. You guys can find us on all the streaming. Streamers. So it's been a long weekend.
Are we new at this?
Apparently so. But Doge and AMC to the moon.
Always.
And we are obviously still part of that Sheba army.
Sheba.
So if there's something else that
so I did a thing. And this is hard for me, guys, because I need you to understand something. I'm not only a caregiver and support Davey and what goes on with him. We have specials on PTSD. I'm always supportive of that and mental health. And I myself am a survivor of some childhood trauma. The problem is my childhood trauma stems from pageants. So yes, I was Little Miss Grand Lake 1983, the first and the only Little Miss Grand Lake. And this crown is very, very old and very delicate.
But it works.
I'm wearing my crown right now.
Yep.
But I did a thing. I entered a contest. And it's called Fab Over 40.
Yeah.
And you know how I am about my age. Like, I'm proud of my age, but I'm not. But I am. Yeah. So it's Fab Over 40. So I have Vote for Misty now on the chalkboard. And you guys, it's not a beauty contest. It's just a recognition thing. And I get into a new beauty magazine.
Yes.
And get to have a spread. I don't think it's 6 pages, but yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Anyways, it's a platform. And that's what pageants always taught me. I'm joking about trauma from being in pageants. Like, I was never the one. I just wanted to be funny and do art. But it did, as a child, it taught me how to interview and how to, have sponsors and talk to people. And there was a lot of good that came out of my pageant days. I'm not afraid to be in front of people.
Yeah.
So I did this because I wanted that platform to talk about being a caregiver, talk about PTSD, and of course, talk about our podcast.
Yeah.
So starting tomorrow, today, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, today at 10 a.m. We're going to put the link.
Yep. It's going to be on there.
On the YouTube. We'll put it on Podbean. We'll put it on Spotify. Wherever you guys are listening to us, that link will be there. And it's going to go to my profile, which you can't see.
But the link will be there.
It'll be there. And it's more of a popularity contest than it is a beauty contest.
But you got to vote every day.
But you have to vote every day.
Make sure you guys vote every day.
And it doesn't end until September. So
that's right.
basically, I'm going to be bugging you every day
on this
to vote for me.
Yep. Y'all make sure y'all
because
vote for
I'm
Misti.
fabulous over 40. We all know it.
Damn Skippy.
Me and my pink hair. And yeah. So I really wanted to use it as a platform to talk to people and to talk to other caregivers. And it's really important to me. And I can't believe I'm doing it. And yeah, it's time for the fishbowl because I already have anxiety. And it's Davey's turn. And I'm very excited about this.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead
and my crown. I'm going to put my crown back on. I'm going to straighten my crown.
Yep.
Ladies, that's what we have to do. We have to
she's
straighten our crown.
She's straightening the crown.
Straighten that crown.
You know why she's straightening the crown? Because wifey is a boss. Speaking of bosses.
Damn right I am.
Speaking of bosses, that's today's fishbowl topic.
Are you serious?
That's what I picked.
Oh.
And that's why I said what I said.
Can I go first?
Okay. So we'll be talking about bosses. And apparently Misty Mouse has a few things to say about bosses. I do. So let's go ahead, baby.
I've been wanting to say this for years.
All right.
I got to roll up my sleeves.
No apologies.
Okay. So I had a great job, amazing job.
Yeah.
Right. And it was working for a place called, and I'm gonna name it Center Industries.
Okay.
Center Industries is in Wichita. They do Department of Defense things. They do work for the airline manufacturers. It's a big deal.
Okay.
The greatest thing about them is like, it used to be like 80%, maybe now it's 90% of the workforce is people with disabilities.
Okay.
Whether it be mental or physical. And it was just a great place to work. Loved it. Had a corner office, was the expediter, was a, executive assistant to the executive purchaser. Had a great job. Loved it. Some stuff went down, I may or may not have punched somebody in the face.
Okay.
Naturally, I was fired.
What? Who does that?
It's called sexism. It's called sexual harassment, and nobody took care of it, and I did.
But that's also before, they paid more attention to these things.
It was. And here's the thing, my boss knew it, and I loved her. Margaret was amazing. I didn't falter. I was young. I knew enough to kick his ass, but the problem was I did it in a supervisor. We had like 5 warehouses. I could have done it in a warehouse where nobody was looking. No, I punched him out in front of a supervisor. Anyways.
Yeah, well,
that's not the problem.
Okay.
After that, it was such a fall from grace. Like I had an office. You know what I mean? Exactly. I was that person. I got to wear heels and cute outfits every day. I was somebody. I would entertain the Department of Defense. They'd come in once a week, take care of their stuff. I was known. I was happy. It was the happiest I'd been in a job.
Yeah.
And so I got fired because I couldn't control my temper. And with reason. Okay.
However, that not controlling your temper, considering what is happening to you, should be understandable at the same time.
Okay,
if
but
that's
when
your response.
But at the time it was run, things were still run by men. And it was a good old boys club, very much so. So they wouldn't be around on Fridays, they'd be golfing. But us women would be at work. It was one of those situations, but whatever. I'm not here to talk trash about them. They're a great company. I promise you they are. They still are. But it was a fall from grace.
Yeah.
I loved having an office and having all that, right?
Yep.
I had to go work at a burger joint. And I would work the grill.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was down the street from where I was somebody. So now I'm manning the grill, and everybody, when you go to order food, you can see the grill, the people that are working the grill, the people that are working the drive-through.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a McDonald's. It was a little bitty burger joint, like a mom and pop burger joint. And that was hard to deal with, but I did it. You have to make money. You do what you got to do. But this chick that owned it, insane, batshit crazy, batshit, didn't like me. And I did everything. One day we had we had a serious lunch rush thing, right?
Okay.
And we had like burritos on sale, and we had bomb burritos, and they were fried. And I was working the front because we were short staffed that day. And she was working the grill. She decided I wasn't fast enough, even though the bitch didn't work the grill. Fine.
Okay.
Cool. So I go back. 15 minutes this man was waiting for sour cream. And I kept saying, can I get some sour cream, please? Just a thing of sour cream. We had them made up, ready to go. I'll get it in a minute, she kept yelling as she was backing up the burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Sour cream was right, and so I just went round corner to just grab that sour cream,
Okay.
right? You just
right there.
grab that sour cream.
Mm-hmm.
She grabbed me and got in my face. Now, I've just been fired for punching a grown-ass man out.
This is Burger King?
No, it was a mom and pop.
Mom
It's
and pop
not
okay.
It's not a chain.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm just grabbing sour cream. I told you to stay out of my area. I said, I'm not in your area. I am grabbing sour cream. I got sour cream. I won. Gave the man a sour cream. After that shift, I went back to chop onions because everybody decided since I wore contacts, I could chop the onions because onions don't affect me.
Right.
Which you know.
Yeah.
She pulls me aside and says, don't you ever undermine me in front of customers again. I said, I didn't. The gentleman was waiting 15 minutes for sour cream and you insist on everybody being out in 5 minutes. So I was trying to help. You were overrun. Like you needed help. Bitch grabbed a butcher knife.
This is your boss?
And put it to my face. Yep, a boss.
Hmm.
Here's the problem. I outweighed her and was taller. And I grabbed her by her wrist and took the knife.
Found out
and
real
she
quick.
started screaming that I was breaking her wrist. I said, I'm going to do a lot more than that.
Yep.
And I grabbed the knife and took off with the knife. And she came after me and I turned around and put the knife on her. And I said, nobody puts a knife to my fucking face.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Nah, that's probably,
but I've been waiting like 20 years.
Keeping it light. It's probably keeping it light.
So I am here to tell you, here's your sign. If you are being abused at work by a boss, leave.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with fighting back either.
Oh yeah, I used to do that all the time.
Obviously, when it comes to things like that, though, like with bosses and stuff like that, it seems like it's like, hey, well then let's fire you because you're the problem.
She also grabbed my boobs at a Christmas party. Hi, Cindy from Waltz on West Street. Hey, girl. Hey. Yeah. You crazy. Like, get that money. What you nuts?
Yep. But and there you have that. At least on that topic. You know what I mean? But mine was a little different.
I'll let you have the floor now.
No, mine didn't go like that whatsoever.
I bet not.
Well, but at the same time, all my bosses have been military. Besides my very first one. And that was the one I talked about before, where it's like, hey, he couldn't fire me because the religion, right? They had hired me. They had hired
Party
me.
City.
Yeah, Party City. And he wanted to fire me because I couldn't work Saturdays, but he couldn't because I'd already been hired on the basis that they knew what was going on. Now, when I joined the military, I think a lot of people, and it's probably only within the past maybe 10 years where it's actually come to light. Hey, the military has problems too. It's still an organization with issues. You know what I mean? And
if you manage people, you have issues. There you go.
So there are two issues that have come to play when it comes to bosses as of now. One was, at least from my boss before I end up becoming a boss. So like one, this is my first bout with racism was in the military.
That's so sad.
My first time dealing with racism was in the actual military, my very first base. And it sucked because my boss, I didn't think anything of it. I figured I was just the younger airman. So it was like, hey, no, you got to go pull stuff from the warehouse. I used to work in a hazardous material spot, and then we'd have to pull the materials from the warehouse. Well, I was the one that kept getting sent to the warehouse. And I'm like, okay, I'm the lowest ranking guy here. Clearly, I'm gonna get it. Wasn't like, hey, I'm the only black guy. Like, no, that doesn't make, I'm like, no, I'm the lowest ranking one here.
Right.
And I hated it because it got hot. Well, then we got a Hispanic female in. She came in and she outranked me and the guy that used to send me to go get the things out of the warehouse. So the boss over all of us, he was the highest ranking. He had 5 stripes. I had 3, she had 3, and the other guy, I had 2, she had 3, and the other guy had 3. So he came and was like, hey, you guys need to go and pull. It was like a bunch of parts. And he was like, you both need to go pull these parts. He was like, no, see, you and him can go pull the parts because she outranked him. He was like, excuse me. She said, I outrank you. You go help him pull the parts, not vice versa.
Damn.
So he went and got the supervisor. You know, they say he had 5 strikes. The supervisor came and was like, hey, you two, me, and the other female that happened to be Hispanic, go and pull the parts. And she went with me and she was complaining, but she pulled him to the side and, you know, later it went to him and was like, because it had been happening for days. After about a week, she went to him and said, look, there's a problem. Like, I outrank this individual. Why do you keep sending me with him?
Right.
Why don't you send him? And you know what this guy had the nerve to say to her?
Right.
He said, I figured that you and him would be used to working in the field, so it shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem.
Please tell me she ducked them.
Damn it. She didn't deck him, but ruined his whole career.
Am I the only one?
Ruined his whole career.
She did?
Oh,
she
yeah.
Ruined his career?
I got called into the office. She left, stormed out.
So much better.
Oh, yeah. She stormed out, went directly down the hall and into the flight commander's office and told him, and I got called into the office. Said, do you believe so-and-so is racist? Absolutely. I said, absolutely, because I said, all I can say is that we're the only one. I said, I find it very odd that we're the ones that keeps getting to go to the warehouse when she outranks him. I'm not tripping on me. I know I'm the lowest ranking one. I got to do the brunt of the work.
You're a grunt.
Yeah, I'm the lowest ranking. You're going to do this. This is your job. Shut up. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So then they was like, okay, next thing I know, said individual was no longer in our shop.
Wow.
Said individual stayed across the street from me at the time.
I love her.
Yeah, he stayed across the street from me. He was my supervisor. He stayed across the street from me at the time.
Yeah.
I was there when they were moving his stuff.
I do love her.
I was there when they were moving his stuff.
Do you still know her?
Yeah, she's on my Facebook still.
Tell her I love her. Show her this clip.
She's on my Facebook still.
Good for you.
I may tag her in this. She'll remember the story.
Oh,
she'll remember it. And he's no longer here. He was no longer,
because that was what,
military.
like late 90s?
That was 99. That had to have been 99 or right at 2000. Yep.
The stuff that was happening to me was in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it was like,
so it's like that stuff still existed.
Yeah,
it still does.
It still does now.
But,
we've come so far, but moved back so far at the same time. We made 4 steps forward and 3.5 steps back. It's like,
we're just a Paula Abdul dance.
It's
like
the truth.
2 steps forward.
I'm telling you. And now I like that reference. I know that one.
Thank you.
Paula Abdul. Y'all look up.
That's what I'm
one of the greats.
Vote for Misti.
Yeah, vote for Misti. But seriously. And then my other one was when I became I guess a manager. Like I retired with 6 stripes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so then I think one of the things from a boss perspective, not from an individual who has a boss, but just from a boss perspective, when I have to get pulled into a meeting, when I have to get pulled into a briefing to talk about how we deal with millennials, that was where I'm as a boss at that time. I literally was like, all right, I got to put my foot down. I was like, I gotta put my foot down.
As a mother and stepmother of many millennials.
Yeah, millennials.
I'm not saying a damn word.
We actually had to. Now, see, I understand it's different, right? It's different now. But when you're in the military,
that's what I'm saying.
That was my perspective.
You told me these stories.
Yeah.
Please let the good people know that there is a special meeting to deal with millennials.
There is a PowerPoint. There is a presentation.
And here's the
on
thing.
How military members, you as a supervisor, deal with no BS, the millennials. And
but that's not natural evolution of a company.
It's not.
That is our military.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a natural evolution of our military unless it comes to war shit.
Yeah, they told us.
Like, we're going to have biochemical war. We're going to have internet problems. We're going to have hacking. That's the new wars. I don't want to know that you guys are having meetings because we got to be able to deal with this generation.
You got to understand.
They don't understand being yelled at.
Right. And you got to understand. So it's not every young person or every person that is viewed as millennials.
Don't cancel us.
But at the same time, what you have to understand is that when you join this nation's military, you are fighting for freedoms that you are also giving up when you join. You know what I'm saying? Such as that freedom of speech when you're giving that up when you join the military.
Let's go. Colored hair.
You know what I'm saying? So let's be honest here. If I'm giving you a direct legal order, the answer I'm supposed to get back is not why I got to do it. Look up and down. You see, let's start with your combat boots. You know what I'm saying? Let me start with your combat boots. We're gonna move up. Ooh, let you look at that. You got on a uniform pants. That's crazy.
Oh, that's
What's
nuts.
is that a uniform shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, you got on that looked like a
so
uniform
this isn't
blouse
my outfit?
Oh, it's clean shaven because you're in a part of an organization that requires you to shave. What is that on the side? Is that a rank? Oh, it almost as if you're in the damn military. And I don't gotta sit here and explain to you why you will obey the order given to you, the legal order given to you.
Ooh.
And that's that.
Ooh.
I ain't explaining shit. You want an explanation? Go to what's called the Uniform Code of Military Justice, UCMJ.
And here's the thing, I've seen it.
Yeah.
When we're on base, when we're at our doctor's appointments, when we're at the pharmacy, or I see it.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Because now women can have their hair.
They can have their hair longer. Yeah. And like
they can wear ponytails. Yeah. They can wear pigtails.
Yeah.
They can have it down.
Right. But the only problem
they can have nails.
And the only problem I see that, like, if being in a supervisor and a manager position, the only problem that I see, loosening the reins of certain things is that it, as with everybody, even with children or adults, you give them an inch and take a mile. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, you can have your hair down. That's fine. Okay, sweet. Now I'm gonna put this in it, put this color in it, put this. Okay, no, you can have nails that look like they complement your skin tone. That's what it was before.
That's what it's always been.
You have nails that complement your skin tone. If you this color, your nails should not be this color. That's what I'm saying.
They had to be a certain length too.
Yeah, and it gets.
You had to have natural hair color.
Right.
So then the women that were like me, would wear a wig.
Yeah.
Fine. It was a tight, nice wig. Cool. And good for you.
They had to come out with instruction on that because at first the Air Force didn't have an instruction on wigs.
But my problem is when we saw a young woman the other day, she was more like her eyebrows. Holy crap. This woman's eyebrows were like banging. They were awesome. I'm not gonna lie. She was beautiful, her makeup.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, there's
like your makeup. Wait, you're military.
Yeah.
You're on duty. You're active duty. Yeah. And you look like you're ready for a photo shoot. Her nails were this long. And I'm like, and I told David when we left, I was like, dude.
Yeah.
She was more concerned about how she looked than how I felt.
Yeah.
Or how you felt. And if this man would have still been in,
yeah, that would have been different.
But it would have been a whole other story because he didn't put up with that.
I did not. And there's things right from a boss's perspective you having to deal with. Like, I'm not saying that the military is the exception to the rule when it comes to, dealing with stuff like, because y'all wouldn't understand. That's not what I'm saying. The military deals with pretty much a lot of the same issues, but if not more,
well, they do.
Or if not
because
more,
it's a concentrated few.
Right, because sometimes
there's a little bit more of the bullshit.
Right. So let's take certain companies, right? You got companies like, the Cessnas, the Boeing, all them companies. There's a code of conduct there.
Morality clauses.
Oh yeah, you got all
contracts,
that stuff too. Same thing in the military, though.
HR stuff.
You know what I mean? And so, but from a boss's standpoint, I believe, and we both been a boss before, and I believe that one of the biggest things that we found out, well, I say me, not we, because this is shit that she tried to tell me before. The biggest thing that I found out with being a boss, especially in the civilian world, is like, look, you cannot bring that military perspective of self-discipline.
They looked at him and laughed.
They laughed at me. It was like, first of all, this yelling shit. Come on.
They're
bro.
like, okay, well,
go somewhere
I'll
with
be
that.
here when I get here.
Yeah, going somewhere with that.
And then like you'd have to correct a couple, like you corrected someone on the phone one time, and I was in the background and I was like, you can't ask that. And I was making gestures and trying not to be heard.
Yeah.
And I was like, and so he caught on, corrected himself, didn't know why. Got off the phone. He's like, what did I do wrong? And I was like, you are not allowed by law to ask.
Yeah, these certain
questions. Of this kind of line of questioning. And he was like, and I said, now we can't fire them for like 2 months. I'm just being real. If you've got an issue with it, dmwattspodcast@gmail.com. I don't care because I don't own a business anymore.
Exactly. But when it comes to whether you are a boss or whether you
being a boss is hard.
It is. But also understand this: being a subordinate is hard too. Being a subordinate is just as hard as being a boss.
A knife held in my face.
Yeah. So like a lot of times,
couldn't punch the guy, got fired. I mean,
one of the things that I loved about being in the Air Force was that we welcome constructive ways of doing stuff.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? It wasn't what we used to call a shut up and color type thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that the Marines are like this still, but it used to be like, look, I don't care about your ideas, follow orders, hood. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. But
somebody's got to do it. Because clearly.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so, but nowadays, you know, I think that when you are a boss, that it's a constant learning thing because bosses are younger now.
Well,
they are like so much younger now.
And what was this something that you had to find out a really bad way? This man who is so kind and giving and loving, even when he was in the military, his core is to help people. And you're very generous and you're very giving and you're very understanding. And I'm not. And I kept saying to him, baby, you cannot, do not be alone with certain people.
Yeah.
And he wasn't alone with them, but the other person wasn't paying attention. Mm-hmm. And I would get phone calls that they were trying to get him for sexual harassment in our own place of business.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did he do? And they'd tell me, and I'm like, that's not what that was. But it was because certain people felt rejected.
Yeah.
This person felt rejected.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that bosses have to deal with.
Yeah.
Because none of it was true. And I'm not being this stand by my man blind person. Yeah. No, we owned a bar. I saw it all. But I also know people. Mm-hmm. And I knew what she was pulling. She saw a cash cow, what she thought was one.
Yeah.
And she was gonna
because I was balling out on that military pay.
Well, she thought she was gonna get us for the bar. Yeah. And I'm like, we don't even own the bar like that.
Get out of here. But I can tell you, I can say this though, from that perspective and just me and you being bosses and not outright.
It was a hard lesson for us both to learn.
It was a real hard lesson.
I was even though I am the way I am, I was still too understanding.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted it to run. So I was scared to change stuff.
Yeah.
And you were learning stuff. And I was like, you can't do this, you can't do that. But I couldn't also explain to you why, because I didn't want to sit there and say, well, this person's not a good person.
Yeah.
Because then it would be like, well, then why are they working for us?
Yeah.
But that's the thing about being a boss. Not only do you have to be the bad guy all the time, but you also then sometimes have to be the understanding guy.
That's true.
And then sometimes you have to just protect yourself from the ones that are going to try to pin something on you. Of course. You're the fall guy. So you're the bad guy, the fall guy.
Yep. And
the not so nice guy, but you got to be sometimes. I mean, it sucks. And I will never be a boss again because I don't want to be.
Yeah, because it's at the point now that
I'm a boss over me.
As a boss now, you can no longer counsel your employee without having somebody in the room with you.
Because you can't ask personal questions.
You can't. It's tough.
You can't hug someone, and we're both huggers. Mm-hmm. But we can't do that. Like, you can't. It sucks. So it's like there's this weird line between me too and normal banter, which is fine when y'all are friends.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden they get a paycheck with your name on it.
Yeah.
And now you're harassing them. Wait a minute. You guys say way worse when you're drinking together. You see what I mean? Like I just
guys, we could literally
I could go on all day.
We could beat this, but we're not.
I swear to God, I was waiting 17 years to tell my freaking boss story.
Yeah, we could go on for a while, but we're not.
Hi, girl. Hi. Hi, Cindy. Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Bosses. Yeah, I'm sure she does now.
Yeah.
And well, that's your own fault.
Put my crown back on.
That's her own fault. She's gonna put that crown on. So you guys know where to find us, dmwatspodcast.com.
.com.
You got Doge, AMC, Sheba, all that good stuff. But before we sign off, the biggest things we want to say is vote for Misti. And if you haven't seen it, we're gonna flash it across the bottom of the screen.
Vote for me.
Make sure you guys click on the link. It's a daily thing, so go ahead and vote for her. You know what I'm saying? So she can get that.
Keeping it real, keeping it pink.
Yep, get that spread in that magazine. But hey, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for all you do. We appreciate it. And signing off for DM Watts, I am Davey.
I'm Misty.
And we are DM Watts. So you guys check us out, dmwatspodcast.com. Give me this. I just keep fucking the words. Stop. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
We'll see you next time.